Hello and welcome back to Retrotainment Recast. As you can see, I'm back here hosting again. So my illustrious reign did not reignite after a title challenge. Ted held off a very fruitful fight back in an absolute nail biter last week.
Very close.
I can't even say that I was hard done by. I was beaten last week. But I'll introduce the boys. Reigning champ Ted, how are you, bud?
Not too bad, not too bad. Hoping to continue this reign on now. A tough film to do it with, to be fair, but we'll see how it goes.
I said fuck all you after you popped out Alien a couple of weeks ago. I was like, fuck you.
That's a long old time ago. I popped out Alien.
A while ago.
That's ages ago.
But still, I was waiting for it. And then we have the challenger on the evening. Carl, how are you, bud?
Oh yes, I'm nervous. I will say that. For the lead role here, I've gone with a very unknown actor, but it's kind of his big screen debut. But I was going kind of a Will Smith route. It was like this could be his movie to really pop to the next level.
I mean, we've seen what happened the last time you tried that Nanaconda.
Yeah, I know. And as the lads can attest, for David Levinson, I completely fluffed the bed, and I literally had to recast right before we went live here, lads. So my two leads could be losses here. So Ted, if you have a lead going to the last two,
I could be sorted.
Jackpot. Carl, I did say I didn't get that Revolut transfer. Just saying.
You want it now?
Yeah, I'll do. Right, lads, send your pictures in. And the usual happens. I went through the rules in the dressing room. Won a nice clean fight. In the words of the great Mills Lane, let's get it on. I've got one, and there's the second one. Perfect. That's just in case we have a draw. If you haven't seen the show before, I verify that they have the same pick. Right. Well, shall we get it started then?
Let's get it on.
I'll give you the doozy to start with. We'll go with William Gray.
General William Gray, yes.
Robert Loggia.
What a man. He plays an arsehole in absolutely everything.
Except this.
He's a bit of an arsehole in this too.
He's not an arsehole in this at all. He's just a typical general in this.
He's just misunderstood.
No, I don't think he plays an arsehole in this at all. It's the other guy that's the asshole in this, the head of the CIA. Yeah. That's the asshole in this one.
He's gas in this.
Yeah.
You found them things in New Mexico. No, that's not true. That's not entirely true.
Well, technically, this is kind of a tough one because General Gray is an important character, but he's not in it a whole lot. Like, he doesn't actually do a huge amount. So I kind of went back and forth between two people. My backup in the end was Alec Baldwin, who I think could do this pretty decent.
That would have been a tidy show.
But I don't know if he would have taken a role this small anymore.
I think he definitely would have.
He would have, yeah.
I don't see. It's kind of hard to judge with where he is at the moment. Obviously, he's kind of taken a step away from acting a little bit after the whole
well, that's true
incident.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like, I don't know, would that play into it? So I went with someone else who has played kind of these like combative roles, but would be willing to take this kind of smaller role at the moment in Sean Pertwee.
Sarge,
yeah, except he's now General instead of Sarge.
No, I like Sarge.
I like Sarge as well, but he's been promoted to General now.
Sarge General.
Yeah.
Sean Pertwee. Okay. I kind of went the same route, to be honest. I was just like someone who does the combative roles, but doesn't always have to do it. Does take small roles and has done a lot of army roles also. I went with William Fichtner.
Oh, what a man. What a man. Especially as he plays an arsehole in everything as well.
He does. I was trying to cast someone as Robert Loggia.
Yeah, like especially his character in Armageddon.
Yeah, exactly. exactly what I was thinking of when I was casting him.
He's a fucking dick in that.
But he was doing it for.
Well, for most of it, he's a dick.
He was doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, these are both two good choices here. It's a Greg preference here.
Yeah. No, they are about two solid choices, to be fair.
I went with someone also who has played army and combative roles. I went with Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones is a good choice. I think
it might be a bit old.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I was thinking that myself. I was like, he might get away with still being a general because they don't really do much.
Yeah, lad would be retired.
I mean, he's only a general to the president.
Yeah.
Well, he's like I don't know that he's only a general to the president. He's just the one general that stays behind. All the rest of them go to that. I figured he was like one of the president's right hand people that is a general in the army. No, it's just the general or the president sends all the others to go to that bunker that he says he'll meet them at, and then he's like, I think I'd rather stay behind. And the president's just like, yeah, well, fair enough.
Yeah. Tough one. I think William Finchner would probably more be the CIA guy.
Yeah.
Than the Sarge. I do have a nice affiliation with the Sarge.
I do love Sarge.
Ted gets this one off, playing off the heartstrings. I do think Finchner would play.
He was playing off your.
I think Finchner would have been head of the CIA quicker because he's a snaky bastard.
Would I have?
This is where you know Greg more than me. That's where that comes into play. That's
well, I don't know,
shenanigans.
Would I have won with Baldwin anyway?
Yes.
There you go, Carl. So it wouldn't have mattered, you know.
I think I just see Finchner more as the sneaky CIA agent rather than.
That's fair.
I think Finchner's kind of a smaller, like slender character. So
it's the body mass doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't. But you know, like he's. When you kind of think head of the CIA and then you think, you know, army general, you kind of think one is just the general stereotype is the head of the CIA is kind of the mastermind, skinnier type, and then the army general is the bit more burly, get in your face and scrap you kind of guy.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. That's the only reason. Fincher was a good shout though, but I think just the wrong character.
That's fine.
Right. We'll go to Constance for this one. Another character.
Colin originally.
I think could have just been absolutely anybody.
Well, I went with someone because she does play she is David Levinson's ex-wife, but she's also she works for the president, isn't she?
Yeah, she's an advisor.
She's an advisor, yeah. So I went with someone who has played that in a TV show before. She is a movie star, but she's played that in Scandal. I went with Kerry Washington.
No idea who that is. Not a clue.
You know Kerry Washington. If you look up a picture of her, you know who Kerry Washington is.
Django Unchained, isn't it?
Django, yeah.
Yeah.
I very much know who Kerry Washington is. Not by name, but I know who she is.
Yeah. She's a very, very good actress, and she literally played this role in a TV show. You know, that's only a recent TV show as well. And she won Emmys for it. So
that's not going to help your case because I don't think I've seen the show.
Yeah,
I've seen her in other things though.
I kind of went with a similar idea of, you know, it's either the ex-wife or just the wife that he's split from. I'm not really sure which it is.
It does say, the dad does say to him when they're driving into Washington that they're divorced.
Yeah, but he still wears he still wears the ring, and it's like they're both still in love with each other, but she's like, you know, it's brought up that the reason she left him was because
her career, yeah.
She picked her career, but like she's, you know, not only is she a career woman, but she's also very strong and, you know, confident in herself, which is kind of the way I viewed the character. So I just went with someone who I feel kind of fits that in Lena Headey.
Yeah.
Always comes across quite confident in herself. You could see her, you know, like part of the reason her and Levinson split is that he kind of accuses her of cheating. And she's like, nah, fuck you. I'm not having you coming in here accusing me of that.
Yeah, that's fair. Kerry Washington's a good show. I did have Lena Headey though.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, yes.
I literally changed it yesterday from Amy Adams because I changed my David. So I figured I'll change her just to kind of match it up a little bit more.
Well,
Strong
you could
start.
You could already have won this with my 2 at the end. So
Yeah, but the last time you did a quick change like that on this
Yeah.
show, it worked out well for you. Well, it was a
Sure.
draw, but it was still a good
Yeah.
change for you.
Unfortunately, that one went against you. But yeah, I figured she'd play it absolutely perfect, and I figured she can't be too young either, because obviously you don't become an advisor to the president
Yeah.
at the age of 27 or 28 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that's where I
yeah.
went with Kerry as well. She's 45, so
Is she?
I think Lena Headey's about the same sort of age, in like mid 40s, I think.
Yeah. No, 2 good shouts there though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one of them happened to be my pick.
Yes.
Right, I'll go to probably the other smallest character we have in it. We'll go with Julius.
Julius Levinson.
Julius
Sure.
Levinson. Yes.
What a man Judd Hirsch is.
Yes, he's very good in this.
He's very good in everything.
Yeah, no, he is.
Not Independence Day Resurgence.
Yeah, well,
Oh, I haven't seen that, so I don't. That doesn't exist.
don't watch it. It's
I
terrible.
didn't know he was even in it.
No,
Yes,
don't watch
he
it.
is, unfortunately.
It's terrible.
Okay.
So this one I kind of went back and forth on with a couple of different people. So I'm going to give away a backup I had for David Levinson as well while I'm doing this, just because the reason I went with it is at one point, and it is my backup still, is I had Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid.
And I was like, if I had Dennis Quaid here, I could have Jack Quaid as David, and then they're an actual father-son, so it actually works very well. But I don't know, I didn't really like Jack Quaid as David Levinson myself, so I kind of moved away from that. I also had another backup, which Greg actually mentioned earlier, for a different role in Tommy Lee Jones, who I thought could have done this quite well.
Very nice, yeah, very nice.
But this character is a bit of a comedy relief character in a sense. So I went with somebody who can do that quite well. It's not a huge role, and he's a fan favorite, Bill Murray. I just feel he'd be very, very good in that role as the kind of, he's your man's dad, and he's like, come on, you got to get over.
Yeah,
I know it's not he's only in his 60s, really. I mean, Bill Murray is close to 80, if not over. I think he might be a little bit too old for this role.
I know
as much as I love Bill Murray.
Yeah, I know Julius was in his 60s here, but at the same time, Thing was like 44 when he did this as well. So they obviously didn't go with that. They didn't really think about the age discrepancy there too much. Because I mean,
I was actually really happy. This role here was probably the one I was happiest most with all my picks. I went here with Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau, like the man who directed Iron Man. Happy?
Yeah, happy. Yeah. I think he'd do this role really, really well. Like, he's not just that, he has done comedy relief characters, like he was back doing Swingers back in the 90s. He's a comedy character. He can also do things seriously. I think he'd do this role phenomenally well.
I don't really like either of those, to be honest. Bill Murray's too old for one, right? Jon Favreau, I don't think is old enough.
He's in his 60s.
Jon Favreau's not in his 60s.
Jon Favreau's in his 60s.
55.
55? I thought I saw it was in 60s. That's why I picked him.
No, 55. 55. I normally do go with the age, and I do try to get someone who's in their 60s. I don't know. I liked Bill Murray for this role. I just think his style of acting fit this very well. I know he's a little bit older, but we've said it hundreds of times on this. Makeup can age them up and age them down. So
yeah, but
Bill Murray's 71.
as we saw in The Irishman,
which is 10 years older than Judd was playing this.
John Favreau,
55, yeah. As we saw in The Irishman, you can change someone's makeup, you can't change the way they look or the way they move.
Yeah, but the dad doesn't, like, Julius doesn't move like, lickety split or anything in here, he's sitting there playing chess with him, and he's like, it's not check, even like, and you can even see like his mind isn't as sharp as it used to be, because he's like, no, it's not checkmate, get back here, and then he's, oh, it is checkmate, and then he won't drive the car fast even though there's no one in his way. Like, he's very much the stereotypical older character. Do you know what I mean? Which is why I kind of thought Bill Murray would work here.
Yeah. I had George Clooney.
Bit too much of a pretty boy, I'd say, but
yeah.
That's who I had. I struggled. The first name I wrote down on my list was Robert De Niro, but the man is 80.
He is.
And I can't rule Ted's point out, or Ted's character out, if I had him on it. Like, you know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
I had Pierce Brosnan as well.
Yeah,
That's not a bad choice.
Still a bit of a pretty boy, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Not really. Not anymore. If you're watching
I'm,
Mamma Mia.
I haven't watched Mamma Mia.
I have.
Ted don't do musicals.
No, not a big fan of the musicals now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Bruce Willis mightn't have been a bad shout either, but obviously
Yes, it would have.
Retired. Yeah.
The other name I had was Michael Keaton.
You again?
I just couldn't settle between them now. Obviously, before we come.
I love Michael Keaton, but I don't think he takes such a small role.
No, I don't think so either. I was lashing names down.
Again,
so the people that age.
Michael Keaton, 70.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna give this one to Carl. I think the age, like, it all depends. Like, theoretically, it all depends on who your David would have been.
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah. Like, as I said, you can I just think Bill Murray, his style of acting fits this very well. And yes, he's a little bit older, but as you said yourself, like, about a lot of the people you cast were that bit older as well. It's just, I feel his style of acting fits this very well.
Yeah. As I says, I didn't really like either of those, to be honest. I think George Clooney's 60, so I think he was just in that nice little age bracket.
Yeah, you see, I've used that argument before of age, where I'm like, no, this is the age the person is, and I always get shot down on it. So I was like, right, I can veer away from this a little bit here, because every time I've ever brought up, yeah, but that person, like in Anaconda, I lost because we used someone who was, like in their 70s, like we used Jeff Goldblum, and I was like, yeah, but like he's quite a bit old. No, it doesn't matter. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, right, you know what? I need to stop using this age thing. And now the first week, I'm like, oh, I won't use the fact that the age is there. You're like, yeah, no, the age doesn't really add up. Like,
we're fucked now. If he loses this next week, we're fucked.
Yeah, no, he's not going to lose though. He's not going to lose. I can guarantee this now. But
right, this is probably my favorite character in the whole film. We'll go with Russell.
Russell Cass, Randy Quaid.
What a man! This is a great character in this movie.
Yeah,
we're always sympathetic to the alcoholic.
Exactly. You really are, and who sacrifices himself in the end.
I absolutely love that, where he's trying to fire the missile and you're like, oh, he's going to drive straight into it, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, boys, I'm back. I love it, though. Even like the heartfelt message where he's on his way up and he's like, tell my kids I love them.
Yeah. He's great. It's a great role. I went with someone who has played kind of the same role in different films. I went with Shia LaBeouf. I think he did it very, very well.
Yeah, this character was a bit weird for me because he's kind of, he's not
haggard.
Well, not just that he's haggard, he's actually not in the film a whole lot. Like, he's very important to the film because obviously he's, the drunk guy that has been telling them about the aliens for the last 10 years, and then he's the one that ends up saving the day. But at the same time, he's very, very little impact in the film other than that, other than those two kind of points. He's very much just kind of around. So I kind of based it on someone I feel kind of could look the haggard part and play the kind of drunk a bit. And I went with Jason Clarke. Who
I love Jason Clarke.
I think kind of has that disheveled look to him.
I hate Jason Clarke.
Note to self.
I actually hate Jason Clarke.
Yeah, but he has that disheveled look to him. Was what I went with there. Kind of went with he has the disheveled look, and outside of the disheveled look, the acting isn't particularly taxing for that role anyway. So like that's the main thing I kind of felt I needed to go for.
Yeah. Makes sense.
That's what I was doing as well. I was like, Shia LaBeouf, he can play this conspiracy theorist that everyone thinks he's just a conspiracy theorist, but it's proven right in the end. And he can play the drunk alcoholic, and he can play I am going to sacrifice myself type thing. And I mean, that's Shia's roles recently.
Shia might be a bit young though, would he?
That's the next point I'm bringing up. Shia LaBeouf's 35 years of age.
He is 35. But
his kid is 17 in this, right? And he was in the army for 10 years, and then 10 years ago, he got abducted by aliens.
Randy Quaid's only 41 when he filmed the movie.
He looks a lot older.
No fucking way. That man was about 200 making that movie.
He's 46 filming it, but he looks a lot older. I think Shia LaBeouf still looks quite young.
He looks haggard. I mean, in films, he is
haggard.
He is haggard. I mean, if you've watched, I don't know if you've watched, it's one of my favorite films out there. It's the peanut butter Falcon.
I haven't seen it yet. I seen the clip where he slaps a man for pushing the disabled fella into the water.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite films.
He slaps that kid so bad.
I've never smiled more watching a movie than I have watching that. It's just
I must watch it.
Amazing film to watch. But he looks haggard in that because he is haggard. The lad is haggard.
I went with Rob Corddry. Corddry, I don't know how you say his second name. He was in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Corddry.
And yeah. That's who I went with.
Yeah. You can see that. Yeah, he's got a bit of a haggard look to him, all right.
He plays the alcoholic in loads of stuff.
I have to look at that. Is sorry.
He's the bald fella from Anchorman. Sorry, not Anchorman.
Okay, yeah, Rob Corddry.
Carl wouldn't like Anchorman anyway.
Yeah.
No.
Hot Tub Time Machine and a couple other stuff. He's in The Office as well.
He was.
Not very much in The Office, but he was in it.
But he was there.
Well, having ruled Bill Murray out of the last round for being too old, I'm ruling Shia LaBeouf out for being too young in this one.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Yeah. I mean, I know that the referees in the football get abused for not being consistent, so I'm not being done for that. Consistency makes it 3-1 to the champ.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just happy. I said I was nervous.
Yeah,
you couldn't have been nervous enough to be a whitewash.
Well, I know, but I was nervous, and I was like, when I saw the way the first two went, I was like, this could be a whitewash, and I have 1 point, so I'm happy. It's not a whitewash.
Well, sure, look, we'll get on with it. We'll go Mr. Thomas Whitmore, who was Bill Paxton.
Whitmore. Bill Pullman.
Bill Pullman, sorry. Jesus Christ.
Stop imagining that Bill Paxton's in every film. He's not.
Bill Paxton might well be in every film.
Well, he's definitely not in this one. Definitely not as the President Whitmore either.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. This is what I'm a little bit nervous about because I don't think Greg is a big fan of the person I've put as the actor here.
Is it James McAvoy?
It is not James McAvoy. James McAvoy would not have been a good president here.
No.
Now, the president is obviously, he's an old war hero, and he gets up right there in the face of the danger.
Give a damn good speech.
He does give a very good speech.
Yeah, he has a bit of a presence about him, a calming sort of presence. So I went with someone who I feel kind of has that in Michael Fassbender. But I don't think Greg's a big fan of Michael Fassbender.
Some movies.
Yeah.
I just didn't like him as Magneto.
I think he's an okay Magneto, but yeah.
I thought he was brilliant in Hunger as Bobby Sands.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. I wouldn't be a major fan. Like, I wouldn't rush out to see many things he's in unless it really thing. But I wouldn't turn something off because he's in it.
Yeah, like Whitmore isn't the selling point to this film either, though. Like
that speech is.
Yeah, but you don't know about the speech until you see it. Like that, his character isn't the selling point either.
Yeah,
I went with someone who, can deliver a good speech, who can be quite confrontational, but also very calming, and does actually have a presence about a kind of presidential kind of thing. I went with John Hamm.
Well, we're going. It's now 3-2. I had John Hamm.
Oh, you had John Hamm as well? Nice.
Yeah. I had James Marsden as a backup.
Not a bad shout.
Yeah. I think he might have been a bit young because I think you have to be at that stage. You would have had to have been. I think it's 50 to be the president. But I did change to John Hamm, and I was quite happy with that. Then I was like, oh, no one's going to have that.
I don't know. I liked Michael Fassbender. I just think he has the look to him about it. But
he definitely does have a presidential look.
Yeah,
especially when he's clean shaven and in his suit.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, put him in clean shaven, and like I know you didn't like him too much as Magneto, but his speeches as Magneto are quite compelling and stuff.
Yeah, like it's.
I was kind of like, oh, this could be a good one here, but I was also like, it is Greg that's judging, and I can't remember if Greg really hates like Fassbender. Or...
No, it's just McAvoy.
Yeah, I knew you hated McAvoy, but I was like,
I didn't really like the new X-Men movies, but it wasn't because of him. I just didn't like them.
The first two were good. Then it got a
bit iffy.
Yeah, got dicey after that.
Right, so we're down to 2. Carl needs them both. The look says it all, lads. Right.
Well, I can already say because I had to. I'm guessing we're moving to David, are we?
We are, yeah.
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum. I literally, as I said, I had originally, literally right before we went live here, I had Kumail Nanjiani down as this role. I think he played the role very well.
That'd be a loss.
I think Kumail Nanjiani would play the role very, very well because I think he's a great actor and he could be similar enough to Jeff Goldblum, but he could not be the son of, as we now know, Jon Favreau.
Probably not. Well, I mean, stranger things have happened.
Yeah, but unless
and as everyone knows, I like to cast mine person by person.
It's true. So I literally, and I'm not joking, it was literally 2 minutes before we went live, and I had to stop us going live, say, hang on, lads, I just caught something, and I had to recast someone there and then. So my choice here, even though it's not the worst choice, I went with Simon Helberg, or you'd know him as Wolowitz in The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I was only watching something with him earlier, and he was on some radio show.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good actor. I've seen him in other movies as well, but his biggest role is Wolowitz.
I have not seen him in absolutely anything else. Not one thing.
But you can see where I'm coming from, playing a Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Helberg isn't a bad choice for that.
Yeah, this is probably one of the ones that I wasn't overly confident on myself, if I'm actually honest. As I said earlier, I had Jack Quaid there as the idea of the father-son.
It's a good combination. Clint Eastwood and Scott Eastwood would have done well as well.
Again, I probably would have lost with Clint Eastwood because you would have told me he was too old.
True. But maybe if you had around the father-son, I might have let you away with it.
Well, maybe. No, I went with someone who, this kind of tied into the fact that I did use Bill Murray, because I then aged up the David Levinson's character, not a huge amount, but a little bit. I went with Jude Law, who
what a show.
Presents himself very well, very believable as a smart guy, but also not someone that's going to back down from people a lot of the time either. I think he plays that role quite well.
he's a good show. He was absolutely phenomenal in Road to Perdition.
No.
I haven't seen much of him in the last.
Well, you wouldn't have seen him, but he plays Dumbledore in the new Harry Potter series and stuff. And he does that well. I know you don't watch the.
No, not that. It's just when he said Captain Marvel, I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, but I don't know that he's bad in Captain Marvel. It's just
a film. It's not. Most of the actors weren't bad in it. It's just a bad film.
The film itself isn't great, but yeah, no, he plays that role quite well. You know.
Yeah, I do like Jude Law. I went with Nathan Fillion. I like Nathan Fillion. He's a very good actor. I think he fits in there.
I'm liking this, lads. We're actually using people that we haven't used before quite a bit recently. We should keep this going.
Do you know what? Do you know who I had as my backup? I actually had Sheldon as my backup.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, because obviously Jeff Goldblum is a skinny, lanky, looking scientist. I was like, who do I know that's a skinny, lanky scientist? I just can't see him when it talks about him punching the president.
Yeah, that's kind of where I veered away from that and was like, I need someone that's going to punch the president, or like have punched the president. He
wasn't the president at the time. he makes that very clear. He was not president at the time.
He punched the president.
I like Jude Law and I like Simon Helberg, but I'm going to go with Jude Law here. I mean, the last change, like, it's a good effort though. It was closer than most last efforts would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 2 for 2 on those that you've just rattled out.
Yeah.
So I mean, one is a draw and then one got close, but Jude Law was a great show.
Fair.
Yeah, great show.
I can't argue with it. It's literally,
it's the last second change.
Like, I'm lucky I caught it right before we went on.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to give the champ another go.
Another go around, but sure, we'll finish this one out as well anyway.
I have a doozy for you, lads, anyway, so.
Oh dear.
All right. We might as well finish off with Will Smith. No slap in the face this time.
Stephen Hiller.
Yeah.
Stephen Hiller.
One of the best scenes you see of him in this, Joe, when he comes out of the house after messing with the young lad, he's shooting him, the young lad comes through the door and he's reading the paper and everyone's packing up.
Yeah.
He just looks up and he's like,
it's
just gas.
I love when he wakes up and he's like, is that an earthquake? It's only like a 4. Go back to sleep. Okay. Yeah, I'll just go back to sleep during this earthquake. All right.
A young kid running around.
Yeah, I went someone who's an up-and-coming actor now and could be believable as the guy who's punching out aliens and has the confidence and bravado in himself and all of that. Michael B. Jordan. Maybe a shade too big in terms of like physical size, but
I don't know. Will Smith was pretty big.
Will Smith was very like toned and jacked. I'd say if you stood Will Smith then against Michael B. Jordan now, I think there's a difference in like shoulder width and bulk.
I don't know. Look at him, because Bad Boys didn't come out long after this, and he was fucking jacked in that.
He's very ripped in all of them. I don't know if he's jacked in the sense that
he's fairly up there, but sure, look.
Yeah. That'd be my only thing that I was kind of like, as Michael B. Jordan, maybe a little bit
too broad.
That
is not an up-and-coming actor, by the way. That's
no.
A star.
He is a star, but like, he hasn't.
He had to settle it.
He hasn't hit superstardom yet. You know what I mean? Like,
he definitely has.
I don't know if he has. I don't know if he's
100% has.
I just said he has
franchise on his back.
He has the Creed franchise.
Yeah, it's all the same thing. He's also going to be taking over the Black Panther franchise.
Is that actually going to be confirmed, or is that you're going to see it?
It's going to happen.
It
makes sense, doesn't it?
He stole the show in it, but you know what I mean. Like, he's not so up. Like not that he's just up and coming, but like he's not the superstar. Like, because we haven't used him a whole lot of times either. In that sense, do you know what I mean?
We haven't. I actually got confused. I would have chosen him myself, but I had thought that he played his son in the second in Resurgence, but I was completely wrong.
No.
Just in my mind, in my own fan cast, I must have thought in the second one that it was Michael B. Jordan. I actually went with someone who is completely up and coming, hasn't had a lead role in a movie before, but he has a pintful of charisma, and would do it very, very well. And I'm gonna mispronounce the name, but it's Uli Latukefu, who plays Young Rock in Young Rock. So it's the TV show playing young Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So
I've seen one clip where they talk about wrestling Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Yeah. So he has The Rock personally chose him because you can see he has the same amount of charisma as The Rock. So if it's someone that could do that, he'd be able to do it.
I don't believe he has the same amount of charisma as The Rock.
He can play off that he has.
I don't believe there's a person on this planet that has the same charisma The Rock does.
Well, Jack Black does, but
in a different way.
Yeah, he doesn't have the physique that The Rock has, but he has that charisma.
No, this one's gone to Ted. I had Michael B. Jordan as well. Okay. It's the easiest choice to fit in.
Yeah,
well, I got confused myself.
Before I even said it, before I named the name out of who was thinking, I was going to say that we all have the same person here.
Yeah.
It was the easy choice, really. It was the first name I put down.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I should have put the name down. I should have looked up resurgence beforehand.
He fits. He literally fits straight in.
He does, yeah.
Yeah. Fits straight in.
You should check out Uli, to be honest.
I thought you were going to say you should check out Resurgence, and I was like,
God,
no, don't check out Resurgence.
Like, you can picture Michael B. Jordan, the scene where he gets out of the plane crash and he's like walking up and he's like, "Where are you?" And he comes out and just punches him in the face.
That's what sold it for me when he walked up and punched the alien in the face and then drags him through the desert. I was like, yeah, that's Michael B. Jordan right there.
What happens? I'm dragging your ass through the scalding desert, and what the hell is that smell? No, yeah, Michael B. Jordan fits right in.
Yeah.
I think nearly any Will Smith role Michael B. Jordan fits into.
A lot of them you probably would now, yeah.
That's fair enough. Right. As I said, I was nervous about this one. So
4-2?
5-2.
5-2.
5-2, sorry, 5-2. Has to be 5-2, there's 7 characters.
Yeah.
It's a pasting.
Tis, but I thought it was going to be a whitewash, so I'm happy with what we get.
You know what? I've had 1 or 2 of those where I was like, yeah, I'm not looking forward to this. Back to the Future, I wasn't looking forward to.
Yeah.
And things, and then you get a couple of points, and you're like, it's not that bad.
Exactly. I should really just stop with the completely unknown actors.
Well, I think Uli was probably one that you could have nearly taken a punt that we would have known, because there is a chance that we would have watched Young Rock. I haven't watched it yet because there's too many other things to be watching, but it is one that you could guess that we would have been on somewhere in that sense.
Yeah. Well,
right. What are we going with?
Well, I know you like kind of monsters and stuff.
I love monsters.
The two of you, especially yourself, Greg, with your on the slab.
Creature features.
Monster, love it, man.
Kinda.
Wait, what do you mean? How can you kind of have a creature feature? Either you do or you don't.
I'll tell you exactly how, because we're going back to the 90s. And we're going with Jurassic Park.
Oh, great.
Oh dear.
No.
Well,
right, now, hold on. It does have Jeff Goldblum, and Life Finds a Way, and I use that very, very regularly.
Does Jude Law work as Jeff Goldblum in that?
You're going to lose if you do that.
Now, I'm going to ask the question now, before we finalise the list off screen. Are we doing the 2 kids? Or will we try to find a way around it?
We will decide off screen.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
At least that means it gives me an excuse to go back and watch it. Finn's been asking me to watch it. Obviously, on New Year's, we watched Jurassic World, and I forgot how the ending of that went. And I was like, oh no. Well, Finn wants to watch it, so I says, and I says, one day we'll watch it. Now I have an excuse to watch it.
Yeah, it's a solid film to go back and
rewatch.
Especially
with the new one coming out pretty soon, I thought it would be a good one to go back and rewatch.
Yeah. No, I'll never complain about having to watch Jurassic Park if I
the old guys are in the new one, are they?
Yes, they're all coming back. Well, the three main characters anyway.
Yeah, and the scientist. He loves coming back into that franchise.
He's a dick.
He's been in the 2 new ones.
Yeah. But obviously that's it for this week. I continue on to be champion, and Greg will be challenging me with Jurassic Park next week. Don't forget to like, share, follow, all of that good stuff on YouTube, same on Twitter, Facebook, all of that, and then over on Instagram. Don't forget to vote on the polls when Carl puts them up, and let us know whether you think Greg.
And don't forget the old TikTok.
Yeah, if Greg, let us know if you think Greg made the correct selections when he was picking them, or if you think that the points should have gone the other way, or if you have picks yourselves that you think would have won it. Comment them in like underneath and things like that, and then obviously check out the TikTok as well. But until next week, good luck.